Hello there. I'd just like to, before I do any introductions, give you a little context around our presentation today. Just want to start by saying it first come out of our company values. And one of our company values is we love to share. Some of you know that already from the work that we do within the ADAPT open source community. This presentation isn't going to bring up anything new revelations around creative thinking, but we hope you'll go away with a bit of an insight. Maybe some tips, some techniques, maybe some nuggets, and I don't mean chicken nuggets, that you can try in your own organization. Just so you know, there was no animals armed during the making of this presentation. No strobe lights will be used, but this presentation does require audience participation. So let's give it a go. Good morning, everyone. A little bit louder. Can we have that again, please? Thank you very much. Oh, this is a new clicker. What's this one? That's not mine. That's why that doesn't work. So, my name is Adrian Day. I'm the Creative Director for City and Guilds Kineo. I'm Piscean. I'm left-handed. And with that in mind, I use the right hemisphere of my brain. It will all make sense in a minute. My colleague's name is Liz Smith. She's a solutions designer for City and Guilds Kineo. She's also a Sagittarian. She's right-handed. She's single. And she mainly uses the left hemisphere of her brain, which is pretty handy for this PowerPoint slide. So it's all about creating sort of perfect working partnership. You know, it's an important factor which creates harmony. It helps deliver a balanced solution. Yeah, as Annabelle said in the A-Team, I love it when a PowerPoint animation slide comes together. Liz. Can't hear you.
Hello. Hi. As a solutions designer at City and Guilds Kineo, I work on kind of 2 or 3 ideas every week for the proposals that we're doing for bespoke e-learning courses. So I'm trying to come up with creative ideas all the time. So any help that I can get with that is great, and it's great to involve people in that process and learn a bit more about the sales process as well.
So, as a creative director, I'm always trying to find new ideas and ways to encourage graphic artists to explore different techniques and expand on their knowledge. Whether that is learning from traditional graphical practices and techniques like layout, composition, perspective, or using the latest apps from Adobe, or using tools like Dropmark or Pinterest to gather inspirational materials which will inspire new creative ideas. As a creative, if there is any creatives out there, we all know it's a constant pressure to be original in this game. I'm fresh within the industry and still get across the learning. So let's see if this presentation whets your appetite to try something different. This is our mantra, so if you'd like to repeat after me, no idea is a bad idea.
It's a bad idea.
You can do better than that, come on. That is better. It's only going to get worse. So, how do we stimulate creative thinking? Well, in our business at City and Guilds Kineo, every week we hold a regular brainstorm event in which we'll handpick a client and a problem. These are done in 2 locations, which produces 2 approaches and hopefully leads to one final unique solution. We're inclusive. What that means for us is they are drop-in sessions. They're open to anyone in the business. That could be somebody who's a receptionist. It could be the managing director. It could be anyone is open to them to come and join in. Because we believe that obviously ideas come from anywhere, they come from anyone. In the sessions, we like to get things moving from the get-go. We don't just sit there. Obviously, depending on what the room's structured like, we try and make the sessions very active, as you'll see in a few moments. we have fun warm-ups, and we have different styles of approach for the creative process. When we're talking about the environment doesn't just mean the room that we're in. Obviously, it's good to have a room with all the kits and everything that you need to do the creative brainstorms in, but it's not just that. You need the company, you need the managers, you need the ethos, allowing individuals the space and opportunity to develop and be creative. We develop most of the ideas visually. We produce sketches, doodles, whether they be on whiteboards, on pieces of paper. They are just initial thoughts. They are very rough. Sometimes we use them in the final solution, depending on the style that could end up like. More importantly, point is the fact that we record and document all the ideas that we come up with on a weekly basis. These are then stored centrally and can be accessed by any of our global partners.
So one of the things that is great about getting different people into the session is that we naturally get a lot of different perspectives. So you might get someone coming at from more a technical point of view or more of a visual point of view, and that combination really brings out great results. We work together, so whether that's the whole group or splitting into smaller parts, people work with people that they might not necessarily normally do in their everyday work, and it gives that sense of teamwork together. We try not to limit ourselves, so we keep open to any ideas, any opportunities. Might be outside the norm, but there might be some way we can use it. And the other most important thing is that we build on each other's ideas. Someone suggests something, the next person builds on it. It's a very supportive environment and encouraging, and that helps us to build up the great ideas that we get. So we wanted to share with you one of our success stories from our brainstorming. This is a proposal that we were working on for Google for their food program. And in this session, we took a very visual approach. It was going to be a campaign, so people were designing posters. And you can kind of see from these designs here how what came out in the brainstorm really influenced the final designs that came up.
I mean, what we need to be clear about, this is an hour-long session. It gets split up into warm-ups, and then we go through designing solutions, basically, don't we? And this is some more from that session.
Yeah.
It was quite a productive session. We must have had 2 or 3 groups made up about 3 or 4 people each. A real mixture of designers and graphic artists. And these are all the sort of drawings. We ended up coming out with an entire plethora of ideas, and these are just the sum total that got used. So. Here we go. This is going to be a bit experimental, a bit out there, but let's go with it. So, if you could please stand up, and if you happen to have a wig and a sweatband in your pocket, this is a good time to actually put them on. Hopefully, it's not going to ruin my microphone. Right. So, let's warm up, everybody. Come on. Let's go into some simple jogging. Come on, everybody. Oh, the mic's gone. Oh, dear. I know I should have done exercise. Right. Obviously, we need to let's do some star jumps. I don't know where the microphone man is, but it's not working. Yes, obviously.
Your battery's on the floor.
This is my take on things. What a berg.
Can you do the clicker?
Go on, you'll have to carry on.
With the...
So
that is kind of a warm-up in some senses, I suppose, but that's not exactly what we do. So there's 3 different activities that we kind of take when we do our warm-ups. One of them might be physical activity. It tends to be a little bit gentler than Adrian's keeps it exercising.
I'm back on. Sorry about it.
So we might sometimes we do a little bit of gentle yoga just to get people stretching their bodies as well as their minds. We do drawing challenges. So there's one we do with 50 circles, and then people have to kind of draw in as many things as they can in a minute or a couple of minutes. And sometimes we do word games, like this example here, where you have to find 3 opposites for each word. So they're just really quick things to get people engaged and get them warmed up in the sessions.
Obviously, the idea behind these are icebreakers. As you can see from the pictures there, I've lost my inhibitions, I've even lost my dignity, and I've left my clothes at the door. They're just to break down, take people out of the mindset that might be in on that day, really. Give them a welcome break, and to set them up for the challenge ahead. It gets people thinking instinctively and quickly. As Liz said, we do employ many varied techniques. I don't know if any of you guys have ever used the 7-minute workout. It's hard to believe, but you're absolutely knackered after 7 minutes. We sometimes do that. It invigorates our minds, gets the blood flowing, and then on other occasions we'd have a nice little gentle yoga session or do some drawing games. I think what it really does for the team in itself, it gives people and individuals, really makes them feel part of being involved in the creative decision process, which obviously in turn increases job satisfaction. Like we mentioned before, ideas can come from any discipline, QA, marketing, and even sales.
So how do we run the warm-ups? Well, the really important thing is to keep them short and sharp. So they should only be kind of 10 minutes max out of an hour session. It's just a really quick exercise to get people in the right mindset, but then you want to move on to the overall brainstorming. The other really important thing about the warm-up is to get everybody involved. Obviously, there's going to be some people who are a bit more outgoing, some people are less outgoing, but really, if you try and get everyone contributing at the warm-up stage, then you're more likely to get all that involvement throughout the brainstorm as you carry on.
So, what we're going to do next, we're going to do a Name 10 technique. So, if people can call out, I will do my best to try and hear what you're saying. It's 10 body parts that are 3 letters long. Quicker, go on. Leg, that's it.
There's a
What?
bum.
Bum, that's it, keep it clean. Toe, good one.
6.
What? Lip. Any more for any more?
Ear.
Rib, that's a good
We've
one.
got ear.
Always worth a
Hip.
tickle.
Someone's saying hip over here.
Hip, yeah. We're getting there. One more.
5, 6, 7. Abs.
Jaw. Perfect. Right, here we go then. That's the first one down. Right. Oh, sorry. As you can see, we had all the same ones. Perfect. I don't think that's going to work for this one though. So our next one is name 10 films that have a monkey in them, and I don't mean the title. Jungle Book.
Someone said Tarzan over here.
What's what?
Tarzan.
Tarzan.
That's a good one. The Hangover.
That's a good one. And what about the follow on? Two, yeah. What's that?
King Kong over here.
Who? Curious George? No? Should we go for that one instead? Yeah. Planet of the Apes. What a film. Space Monkeys.
King Kong. King Kong.
King Kong. A what? Yeah, there is a weird looking monkey in that film, isn't there, in Space Oddity? 2001.
How are we doing? How many we got? 8?
Space
Born
Monkeys,
Free.
sorry, I couldn't forget a
lion.
film like that. Space Monkeys.
Born Free.
I've never even heard of it.
Born Free.
But what?
Born Free.
Born Free, it's a film about lions.
Yeah, but there's a monkey in it as well.
Oh, well, it might. Yeah. The Hangover, forgot about that.
I think we're done.
I think we're done.
Yeah.
Gorillas in the Mist. I mean, come on.
We had a lot of the same ones.
Mighty Joe Young, the black and white
Classic.
version.
Classic.
Classic.
Too many there.
You're right, Liz.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, you
Okay.
don't worry.
So now we're going to look at some brainstorming techniques for when we get into the main session.
Sorry.
So there's obviously loads of different brainstorming techniques out there that you can use. We've just focused on a couple that we found particularly helpful. The first example that we've got here is reverse brainstorming. So this is where you take a problem and then you think about, what's the worst thing that could happen or the worst way that that could be tackled. Write out all those points, which are the points in the black boxes there, and then twist that round on its head and see how you could resolve all of those things. So it sometimes works with people because it's much easier to see the problem than the solution sometimes, but by drawing that out, you can then reverse it back. It's also possible to completely reverse your problem. So say, for example, an example that someone shared with us is, how do I get more people in my shop? And then you might want to completely turn that on its head and you say, how do I get my shop to more people? So it's just about really thinking about things from the other point of view and then twisting it around. Another technique that we've used, which we think is particularly good, is role storming. So in this example, you kind of take a problem and look at it from different perspectives. So you can use any kind of characters. Here we've used a couple of famous people, thought about their characteristics, thought about how they would handle the solution. You could also use personas. So if you had different learner groups that you were looking at for a course, you could create personas for each of those and then think about how they would tackle the problem and what the best solution would be for them. So we're going to have a go together at a brainstorm and see how it goes. So we've got a problem that we're trying to solve. We're trying to plan a summer party. So we've got to think about what the theme will be, what the decorations will be, what the food will be, how it's all going to go. So let's give it a go together.
Right, we've gone for someone topical, David Bowie. So
Lovely.
Here we go. Go for it, Liz.
So what we start with is thinking of characteristics of that person. So what words would you use to describe David Bowie?
Genius. You're not wrong. If only I could spell it.
Chameleon, someone
Legend.
said.
What?
Chameleon.
Chameleon.
Artist. And dead.
Dead, yeah, unfortunately. God.
Any more suggestions about kind of characteristics? Off the wall?
Creative. Yeah,
Off the wall, Adrian?
off the wall.
Musician? Thanks, Joe.
Brave. You would think he'd be is one of a kind, really, in some ways.
Yeah. Okay. So now we've got some of the characteristics, we start to think about how we would put those into practice for our party. So what can we take from any of those things that we could use as like a theme for our party? How could that work based on those characteristics that we've come up with? Anyone got any ideas?
Lots of colour.
Sorry? Yeah, so multiple outfit changes.
Or even personalities,
Yeah,
maybe.
venue changes. So you could start at one place and then move to another. Yeah, lighting as well.
What's what?
Lighting.
Lighting. Yeah, you need that.
Makeup room. I like it. What other things did we have there? Creative, eccentric, off the wall. Drinks. So what kind of drinks would you serve? Different cocktails, different flavors, mix it up. What about the food? What kind of food do you think would suit that kind of party? Dead food.
What's that?
Hash browns.
Hash browns. Well, Yeah, well, they special ones.
think that's probably it.
What's what?
Oh, music. We've got to have some music.
Yeah, we've got to have music. It's David
well,
Bowie.
Just going to play all the hits.
All the hits, really.
Oh, what we were thinking that he was quite into new music, so we were thinking in our one we thought maybe it would be like new bands or new things that people hadn't heard of before.
What about the style of the location, maybe? What sort of location would it be? Spaceship.
Oh yeah, that's nice. Sorry? Central Park. Yeah. We could recreate that, I'm sure. Do you agree?
Of course we could.
Labyrinth, yeah, that's a good one. That would be a nice thing. Bit scary. Cool, so we've got a lot of different ideas then, just coming up from thinking about it from one person's point of view. So, do you want to put the next slide? So we did the same exercise as well, and this is some of the things that we came up with, some of the things the same as you. Iconic, multi-generational, I think, was up there, theatrical. And we tried to think of those different characteristics. And then there were some kind of visual ideas that came out of that, about how we would decorate our party, what it would look like. We thought about games that people could play, or how it would all come into practice. And that's the sketch on the other side there kind of shows a little bit of an idea of how it could look.
Yeah, I think we had a sort of fancy dress space theme with a giant cake that had spiders crawling all over it by the looks of things. I mean, by this stage, we've come up with a plethora of ideas. There's quite a lot of ideas that we've done.
So loads of different ones to choose from, and the ones that we don't use, we can bank and use another time.
Yeah. So, as we've mentioned before, it is all around environment. It isn't just about the room, as I mentioned. It's around the culture. It needs to be of a supportive nature in this ongoing desire to be creative. Giving people the time, pardon me, and the space to develop their individual needs and skills and the right support in place all contributes. Also, having whiteboard pens at work helps. I don't know if you ever find that yourselves. They tend to run out quite quickly.
Another thing that we try and do is provide positive reinforcement. So we, as we said, no idea is a bad idea. We don't judge people. It's fine. People can say whatever they want in a brainstorming session. Anything goes. And we're supportive and we encourage people. And we build on those ideas. So even if something comes up and you think, oh no, that's not going to work, we can still build on it and make it into something else. So we really try and encourage people as much as possible throughout the sessions and make them enjoy them and hopefully want to come back.
Sorry. To follow on from that, obviously, we want as many ideas. It's about quantity. So at this stage, we don't filter any of the content until the session's over, really.
Yeah, at this stage, it's just about coming up with a quantity of ideas is key, really, and the filtering is the next stage that happens when we refine it down into a solution or a design. The other thing is about keeping enthusiasm levels up. So we really try and have high energy sessions, Adrian likes people to be on their feet, but even if they're sitting down, we can have a high energy atmosphere, I think. So that's really important that people kind of continue on that same level and are excited to contribute their ideas.
And obviously, the final point we've got here is about reuse. Like say what we've tended to do at St Gilles Kineo is create a library. We keep a historical sort of database, and luckily we can share those globally. Obviously, what isn't a good idea for one client potentially could be the perfect solution for another, and we really do believe that. And it can also double up as a training tool for people as well. Yeah, I think that's it. So I don't know if there's any questions that anybody's got. Are you sure?
Do you want to do more brainstorming?
Yeah. So anyway, we're over here on stand B12 till I think 4 o'clock this afternoon. Oops, sorry. We can help you out with any creative ideas or brainstorming techniques. I can also help you out with a fitness plan if anybody needs one. Please don't hesitate to come and grab us. And thank you for listening.
And for joining in.
Well done. Cheers.